Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer here in Melbourne, Australia. What I thought I'd talk to you today is about when I would use continuous lights as against flash lighting, because they are two completely different things. The main thing that will make me tend towards going towards continuous lighting is if the ambient light is actually quite dark, late in the evening, or even when it's really pitch black. Apart from that, if I'm doing things like during daylight and I'm trying to overpower the sun, etc., there's no continuous light that is actually strong enough to do that, so then I tend to move towards flash. So what I thought I'd do today though is I'd discuss what I use, and later on over the next coming weeks I'll actually review each individual item so that you can sort of see how I use them and what the benefits are of each one. When I'm doing weddings, for instance, if I'm doing things in the bridal house at the beginning of the day, and I have full control over the ambient light by closing the windows, for instance, I will tend to use a lot of continuous light. As soon as I then step outside and start to do the wedding ceremony, due to it being very strong ambient light, I'll tend to just use flash or available light with things like reflectors and things like that. But what I thought I'd show you is what I use. So I thought I'd start with the ice light. Now, this is an amazing piece of light. This is the older version though, so I can't show you the new version, but this is the older version. I just use a piece of foil on it. That gives me a nice warm ambient light, so it'll match a warm light that could be a lampshade or something like that in the background. But all it is a piece of the foil, which I got from the camera store. But the light itself is just like this. There's, just an on-off switch and a dimmer. It's beautiful soft light, so this will tend to give you nice window lighting, that type of look. I'll switch it on just so you can sort of see how it works. Yeah, so it's really, really great. Now, this gives me a lovely, lovely soft light that I tend to like using on brides. I have 3 of these that I'll use. They're beautiful and they can be joined together, but I'll show you that when I give a review a little bit later on. I'll just show an example now so you can sort of see how it looks. So you can see that basically when you're looking at this, that it does give a really soft look. I've used 3 lights here. One is on the hair, and then I'm using one on the front and one on the side as well. So I am actually using 3. So I usually need assistance to help me do this, or you could use light stands if you wanted to. So yeah, so that's using the ice light. So I'll just turn this one off. This is the next light that I'll use. It's just a cheap one. Again, you can dim this down to select your color temperature that you like and also adjust its power. I like using this if I'm doing things like ring shots. It can just stand behind the rings and it gives a nice soft glow. And I'll show one of those examples now. You can sort of see that it looks beautiful. It's very, very soft. I can control the power on the light itself. It will run from battery or AC power as well. Yeah, so that's that one. The next light that I tend to use, I've just bought now, is the Roto light with the barn doors. That's this one. I've got a couple of these that I use. These are really, really good because they're a little bit smaller than the ice light if you wanted to put them behind the bride. And I'll show an example of that now. You can see here that she's lit from behind, which separates her from the background. It gives that nice rim. If I didn't have that light behind her, basically her hair would just blend into the background and you wouldn't be able to see her separated. So that's why I tend to like to use one of these behind. And I have another one which I can use as fill as well from the front. Yeah, nice and light again. Just on the back, you can control the temperature, the power rating, and I'll talk about this when I give a review. Yeah, really, really good. So that's basically the continuous lighting. Like I said, I have moved to using a lot of it. I'm doing an awful lot of continuous lighting, especially at the bride's house in the morning, which is beautiful. The benefit with doing it, I can actually see what I'm getting. So unlike flash, there's no guesswork. You can actually see exactly on the subject the lighting pattern that you're going to use, and if it's a bit wrong you can just move the lighting away a little bit, move a little bit more to the back, because you can actually see in the viewfinder what's going on, or just through your eyes. So that's the benefit. If I'm doing in daylight, or I need to overpower the sun, that's when I'll start to use a bigger unit. These are the Profoto B1s. I actually have a number of these because I like to use them in my studio as well. So I've got 5 of these. But basically this will overpower the sun. I think this is a 500 watt unit. It will sync with the Sony, so I've got no problem at all. You just can't use TTL with it at all, or high speed sync at this stage, but I'm hoping that comes out shortly. Really, really good unit, and again I'll do a review on these separately, so you can see what I think about it and if you think it would fit your needs as well. I'll show you an example now of where I would use this. You can see here that it's a very, very bright day, and I wanted to overpower the sun to make the subject really stand out. It did have a softbox, or a zoom reflector on it actually, so it had a reflector there. And basically it has allowed me to shoot at a decent aperture and overpower the sun and still light up the subject and get the clouds in the sky to look fairly good. Yeah, so I just thought I'd talk to you about that so you can sort of see how or what I use in my wedding and portrait photography. Like I said, I am tending to do a lot more now with the continuous lighting. Flash is used for other things. For instance, if I wanted to stop motion, for instance, if I've got a dancer that's jumping, I will tend to use this, the flash I should say, because the continuous light is just not strong enough. But yeah, so keep watching. Please like my page. If you can, leave any comments down below and I'll get back to you. Over the next coming weeks I will start to talk to you about all these individual components, so I'll review them and show you how they work. Until then, I'll see you again soon.